You want spray foam insulation for your home, but that old insulation has to be removed first. Come with me while I show you how we're going to remove some fiberglass from this attic. Let's go get dirty. So before we get started, I want to talk to you a little bit about safety gear. Now, if something happens and you plan on working with fiberglass on your own, there's some precautions that you need to take. As you can see here, I am fully suited up. Every inch of my skin will be covered. I have on work gloves. I'm covered from head to toe, and I'm going to be wearing this special mask to make sure that I don't inhale any of the fiberglass particles. The thing about fiberglass, they are fine particles of glass. They can embed in your skin, they can embed in your lungs, they can embed in your eyes and lead to a lot of issues. So it's very important if you plan on working with this material, whether you're putting it in or removing it, make sure you're completely covered. Now that I'm back here in the studio and out of all my removal gear, let's talk a little bit about the process of removing that fiberglass from the attic. Now the removal crew, if one comes out and you decide not to do this on your own, which I highly recommend, the crew will come out, they will get access to your attic, and they will make sure everything is covered that needs to be covered if that's the case. They will go up into the attic, and if it's in the attic flat, they'll start pulling out those batts and dropping them out of the access for them to be bagged up. The same is true if the fiberglass batts are in the attic rafters or in the attic roof deck. They'll just reach in and pull those out, pull them out of the access, and bag them up for disposal. As you can see here, there's a lot of fiberglass that's coming out of this attic that needs to be disposed of. Luckily, an experienced contractor is going to take care of that removal for the homeowner so that you don't have to worry about disposing of it properly. So let's talk about why you're here. Why is it so important to remove that old insulation before adding spray foam? One big thing is the improved airflow. If the spray foam is added to your attic roof deck, you're not going to want fiberglass on the attic flat that's going to hinder the air movement into your attic. On the attic roof flat, it's now essentially become a part of the conditioned space of your home, and that fiberglass is really just in the way at that point. Another great reason to get rid of that fiberglass is going to be mold prevention. Fiberglass will retain moisture, which means it does allow for mold growth. If it's already a conditioned part of your home, you're not going to want to breathe that in. And that's going to lead me to my next point. Removing that dusty, old, gross fiberglass is going to improve the air quality in your home. As the air circulates around, the last thing you want is to have the particles and grossness that you see in the fiberglass circulating through your house as well into the air that you breathe. We talked a little bit about air circulation, so let's talk about what spray foam does to actually improve it. Adding spray foam to your roof deck creates a conditioned space. And what that means is that attic that maybe you hadn't been using for years is now available to use for storage or whatever you need to use it for, because the air is circulating through the house and up through the attic in a nice circle. So you don't have to worry about condensation or anything like that up there, because now it's a part of the building envelope. The great thing too about proper air movement and flow throughout your home is that it's going to give your HVAC system a break. It's not going to have to run constantly to maintain a constant temperature. It's going to work more efficiently once you create an air seal and seal the entire building envelope. I wouldn't be the building science brainiac if I didn't decide to drop a little science on you during our talk. So let's talk about the science of airflow. Think of your home like a really cool lava lamp. The heat rises, the cold air comes down, and that is a cycle that you want to keep moving throughout your home. If you still have old insulation like fiberglass that's hindering some of that movement, it's not going to flow the way that you want to. Like I said, it's really going to impact the air quality in your home. Temperature differences and condensation risks are another great reason to get that fiberglass out of your home when you add spray foam. A large temperature difference between your attic and your living space is going to increase the chances of condensation forming in your attic. Now, the problem with that, as you obviously know, is that fiberglass is going to retain that moisture. It's going to retain that condensation, and that will lead to the growth of mold. While spray foam does not serve as a food source for mold, fiberglass and the wood that it's sitting on absolutely does. Once mold in the attic takes hold, it can pretty much move wherever it wants as it spreads, and that includes into your air ducts, into your HVAC system, which means it's more likely that it could have detrimental impacts on your health. Keeping that fiberglass out of an area where you're concerned about condensation, it only makes sense, especially with spray foam, to keep it out. That way, there's no place for that condensation to form and no place for that mold to really take hold. Now, in the rare case that spray foam has been added to your attic floor, you're going to want to keep your attic vented. Now, the reason for that is because this is now blocked off from the rest of your building envelope. Those vents in the attic are going to keep air circulating up there, which again is going to prevent any kind of condensation or moisture issues because there's a regular flow of air that comes through. In this application, spray foam insulation is a great option because while the attic will be vented, as long as the spray foam is added to the attic flat, the spray foam itself doesn't allow condensation to form in it. Therefore, you don't have the same issues and concerns that you would have with fiberglass. It creates an air barrier, which prevents the condensation from forming in the first place. Now that I've explained to you all the reasons why you should get rid of that fiberglass when you add spray foam insulation to your home, you might be ready to take the jump. If that's the case, check out the dealer finder on our website. There you can find RetroFoam dealers who may also offer spray foam insulation. I'm your building science brainiac reminding you to bring a little science to every project.